Good morning everyone. We just spent the night sleeping in an RV campsite just outside of Monterey. I had a surprisingly good sleep, but I think that's just because my body hasn't adjusted to the time zone yet. Anyways, I've just showered and now we've got a long road ahead of us traveling to Yosemite National Park. Just parked up to enjoy the lovely scenery, and it is very, very windy. We're finally in Yosemite National Park. We're not yet at the campsite, but we just parked up over there so that we could enjoy this magnificent view. Finally arrived at the campsite. Later we're gonna have a barbecue, but before that we thought we'd have a look around the campsite and the surrounding area, maybe even see a bear if we're lucky, or not. Just got back from our little mish. We didn't see any bears, but maybe that's for the best. We did see some fish, some deer, and I swallowed a fly. Luckily, I can now wash it down with some good old barbecue food.
Hey, another sausage. Not filming me, are you?
Yeah.
The next day.
Good morning everyone. The weather here is incredibly annoying because in the morning it's extremely cold, in the night it's extremely cold, but throughout the day it is very, very hot. So it's really hard to know what to wear throughout the day. However, I have found a loophole. If you wear pajama bottoms, then you can roll them down when it's cold or roll them up when it's warm. We're currently on a little mini hike to see something called Unicorn Peak, which sounds interesting to say the least. Oh. I'm out of breath a little bit because we are currently at a very high altitude, higher than Ben Nevis, which is the tallest mountain in the UK. This is a little bit risky. How do you get over, Catherine? Oh, I did it. After getting lost and fighting off numerous insects, it was worth it to be able to see this view. That up there is Unicorn Peak, and this down here is Elizabeth Lake. We're beginning to head back now to have some much needed eggs and bacon. We've driven roughly about an hour outside of our campsite in the hopes of finding some giant sequoias, which are amongst some of the tallest trees in the world. To put it into perspective how tall these trees are, I'm over 6 foot. I can't even reach the top of it. Say bye-bye. After a long journey, we're finally back at the RV, now to head back to the campsite for some food. stopped in Lone Pine, which is the town just outside of Mount Whitney, and right now we're about to go into the Museum of Western Film History, so that should be interesting for me as I'm about to become a film student at uni. Side note, it's over 40 degrees and I want to die.
Candace.
Cowboy favorites Hoot Gibson, Ken Maynard, Fred Gilman, Fred Humes, and then Jack Hoxsey, who worked here more than any other silent movie cowboy, shooting more than a dozen films in the area during the 20s. Small began taking advantage of the spectacular scenery. The chasing or being chased, the good guys in the white hats were a familiar sight in the Alabama hills.
Not only were loads of cowboy films filmed in the surrounding areas, but also Iron Man and Star Wars. We just got out of the museum, which was really cool, and we were going to try and go into one of the old-fashioned saloons, but unfortunately I'm not 21 yet, so we can't go in. We've arrived at the Mount Whitney campsite, but before tea we thought we'd have a little wander around the campsite and see if we can spot any wildlife, because in the few minutes that we've been here we've already seen some lizards and some kind of squirrel looking creatures. He's coming over. No, don't leave me. He's so fluffy.